Hi, I'm Scott Starratt with Starratt Wealth Management. Well, on the surface, July appeared to be a pretty typical summer month, but the reality was underneath the surface, there was a lot of things going on. One of the first things that happened was this wild ride that we experienced in the technology sector. We saw during the month that a lot of the companies that are called hyperscalers, so these would be companies like Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, companies of like that, who are spending billions and billions of dollars on building these data centers, ended up people wondering whether, in fact, as they reported earnings, the amount of money that they were going to spend is actually realistic. And where they're focusing on the realism comes through how they're going to fund these investments. Up until now, up until let's say about 6 months ago, most of these companies were deriving most of their investments from their cash flow, regular business, because these businesses are very, very profitable. But over the last little bit, as the amount of money that they've needed has gone up, they've gone to either equity markets or debt markets in order to raise money. And what happened during the month is that a lot of these debt deals that were being done ended up looking higher and higher as far as interest rates go. That as well was the similar type of pattern as we saw with the US bonds, where during the month of July, we saw interest rates going higher and higher. And towards the end of the month, that caused a lot of people to have issues or to have concerns on whether the interest rates were going to continue to go too high and cause some issues. That did not help the situation or it did not help the situation when Kevin Warsh, in his second meeting as the new Fed governor, or pardon me, Fed chairman, came out and basically, typical to what he had said in the past, he isn't going to give a ton of reasons or give a ton of color as to what they're thinking at the Fed. He says that the market should be able to determine a lot of this and not listen to all these Fed governors and presidents deciding what interest rates are going to do in the future. But one of the things he didn't come across very well is what the plan is for the future. And so the market was concerned that, again, interest rates would go higher in the future. And that's still the predominant estimation, is that in September, we'll see the US increase their overnight rate by 0.25%. Again, we'll see a lot of things can happen between now and then. And one of the biggest things that can happen, and what did happen during the month of July, is, again, we were in this on again, off again. Is the Iran situation settled, or are we going to continue to go back to hostilities? There was a lot of bombing and missiles that did occur during the month on both sides, as well as the Red Sea was brought into it. If you recall, a lot of the oil and products actually going through the Strait of Hormuz, the alternative is to cut across country with pipelines and to go through the Red Sea. The issue with that is towards the bottom of the Red Sea, there is a choke point around Yemen where missiles can be lobbed by the Yemenese rebels. And so you had this situation where people would guess that it was Iran asked them to, or they chose to do it, that they started creating a lot of havoc in that area. So again, that caused energy to go up, helped the Canadian market. Although gold did drop a little bit towards the end of the month, the Canadian market was a little bit stronger. So what does this all mean? Basically, the first couple of trading days of August have been incredibly positive, some of the most positive we've seen for a few months. And the reason is again, we're on this on again, that there appears to be a settlement in the Middle East. We will see. I mean, we've been through this now for a long time. And again, both sides are negotiating. Both sides are, maybe breaking the negotiations from time to time. But the reality is we won't know until we know. And the market is trying to guess what's going on. With interest rates, they seem to have cooled a little bit. Although again, there is a concern that more and more money will be needed to fund these data centers. And again, the thing that everybody always asks is, how are these companies going to make money from these data centers? So a lot of uncertainty continues to be in the case. We were quite happy that we did reduce exposure through client portfolios for a lot of you during the month of July. And we think we'll have an opportunity in the coming months to profit on that. Again, time will tell. At least we'll be in a situation where we've removed some risk from portfolios. But I'll continue to, the whole team will continue to keep you informed as to anything that is going on over the next few weeks or months. But like I said, August is starting out to be a pretty strong month so far. The other thing I wanted to touch base on was a congratulations to the team, in particular Alex, Angela, and Jim, for their really hard work. They were nominated and then named one of the five-star teams in Canada by Wealth Professional. This is a big deal for the team. There's only 35 teams across Canada who were named five-star. So for the three of them, this is huge, and we really want to thank them for all their hard work and to be recognized for such a great achievement. As all the time, if you do have any questions, please do reach out. We will be around in a notification time during August, but all of us will be definitely around here soon. And if you do have any questions, please do reach out to us, as we're more than happy to chat with you.